And today we're reacting to a video by Puerto Flaco titled "These Suspects Need to Be Arrested for Nolan Wells Murder Today." It's actually a 2 days old video, but let's see what we can get from this vid. And I think I'll just give you the backstory. So a rich black guy, right? He went out with his friends on a boating trip, and they came back and he didn't come back with them, and they're trying to find out what happened in general. So that's the overview of the whole story, right? Yeah. But what I'm trying to say to black parents and people that are black is that you should watch out for your kids, watch out for them, don't let them go where you can get in contact with them easily and stuff like that. Especially rich kids over like a like an ocean or some shit like that. That's crazy. But that's by the way. Let's dive right into this video and like, share, subscribe. Let's get this video out there. By the way, this channel is still growing. It's we have a long way to go, but I mean, it's what it is. Let's see what Flacco has to say for us today, man. And yeah, please comment what you feel down below. Comment what you feel down below. Let's go.
A former Mississippi judge have came forward and confirmed the police ain't doing everything they could do to solve this Nolan Wells investigation, potential murder. And it's probably because there are some very powerful families involved in this situation. Not only are they not doing their job, the judge will even take it a step further and say, yo, there are obvious crimes and arrests that needs to be made already that they are neglecting and refusing to act on. Yeah. This is Carlos Moore. He's a former judge in Mississippi and current attorney. Y'all called us race hustling, ambulance chasing grifters because we say, yo, this Nolan Wells situation doesn't smell well and we want an investigation. So we race hustling, ambulance chasing grifters. So now you guys got to deal with an actual attorney, somebody who actually knows the law, somebody who was a judge, who knows how the enforcement of the laws are supposed to work. And let him explain how exactly the police is botching this investigation and not doing what they are supposed to do. Now, as you listen to him, ask yourself this: if Nolan Wells was any other race, let's not even say white, if Nolan Wells was any other race, do you think this investigation will be going how it's going right now?
Hello, friends. Come on in. I'm Judge Carlos Moore.
Judge Carlos Moore. Man, say it one time for him, man. Judge who?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
For him, man.
This is Flacco was crazy, though.
Hello, friends. Come on in. I'm Judge Carlos Moore.
This brother dropped a 40-minute masterpiece going at the police for their 1 hour of investigation before they said no foul play.
Yeah.
Now, he broke down why there should be people in cuffs in jail fighting a bond right now while this case is being investigated. And he broke down the exact crimes they have already committed.
This is all very suspicious activity.
Not for sure.
We know that based on an audio recording and some video that Nolan Wells can be heard saying, give me my freaking keys. Excuse me, give me my freaking phone. And there's been two different versions. Some said he said, give me my freaking phone, or some say he said, give me my MF phone. Regardless, he was asking or demanding his phone. Someone had his phone who did not have permission to have his phone. So the first thing I see, the simplest thing I see is who had his phone and why? And was that theft of the phone? Sometimes we look at the largest case, we try to get to murder, but the person that took his phone committed a crime right there. There are witnesses to who took that phone.
This is what we're talking about, man. This is how it looks like when somebody really wants to solve something. This is how it looks like if somebody really cares. This is how it looks like when there's a concerted effort to figure out what happened. You know what you don't do? You don't say, hey, do y'all want to talk? Nope, we ain't got nothing to say. IG deleted, phones off. We don't got nothing to say. Mama's a judge. Mama said don't talk. We good. Okay, cool. Hey, man, there's nothing, we didn't find nothing wrong. No, right? You get down to the bottom of this, man. If Nolan Wells was any other race, we're not even going to say white. You know why we're not going to say white? Right? Because when we say white, now it's race hustler. When we say white, now it's grifted. So if Nolan Wells was any other race and his friends, now we're going to say black now, if his friends were black, because we know how they do us. If Nolan Wells was any other race and his friends were black, you don't think if that video comes out of Nolan Wells screaming, give me back my phone, what y'all doing? They not charging them with theft, robbery, or something. They not bringing, listen, they will be in jail. They will find out who Nolan Wells was arguing with, who had the phone, and once Nolan Wells said, give me back my phone, and you guys didn't give it back, that's theft.
No, for sure.
If those kids were black, they'll be in jail right now. Ain't it funny the police forget how to make people rat? They forget how to make people squeal. They forget the art of turning somebody into a rat when it comes to Nolan Wells. They've been doing it to us for centuries. Should we tell you guys what y'all gameplay is? Y'all gameplay has always been, if you're trying to get somebody to squeal, if you're trying to get somebody to tell on something that took place in the neighborhood, come and pick them up on a Friday on something petty. And you make sure to pick them up at 4 p.m. on a Friday so they can sit in jail for the longest. Sit in jail all weekend long. You see a judge on Monday, the judge lets you out on bond, and then pick them up again in 2 weeks on something very petty and have them sit in jail again for another weekend. And you rinse and repeat until they squeal. These are sheltered kids who've never been in trouble or been in jail. Sit in jail for a weekend will make them start telling you guys what we want to know. But because, again, these are powerful kids with powerful parents, nah. Now, the judge would also describe another crime that would allow the police to bring multiple people in. Now, the phone thing, probably one person, but the person that probably had the phone, who knows? So the phone thing is just one person. Now, the judge would also describe another crime that could be used damn near as a RICO. You bring all of them in that was at that Horn Island on these charges and make them tell on each other.
If an affidavit is signed, an arrest warrant could be signed by a judge in Mississippi to go after that person that had that phone unlawfully. We know, based on his own words, Nolan Wells' words while he was alive, he did not give whoever had that phone permission to have that phone. So
Yeah, for sure.
was that theft? I think if an affidavit is signed, if it was presented to me when I was a judge, I would have signed an arrest warrant for the person for theft of that phone based on what I've heard. It'd have to be an affidavit format, but if it was presented to me in affidavit format from law enforcement, I would sign the arrest warrant for, at least at this point, theft of the man's phone. We know who had it. We know who didn't report it to the family. The family had to go find it, and we know that Nolan Wells said give it back to him, and evidently it was not given back to him. Why was that? All of the other things I've stated, you piece it together. Is there enough right now
Nah,
for arrest warrants for murder?
no,
That is a good question.
I think so.
I do know at this point there should have been search warrants signed by a judge. Evidence should have been presented to a judge by now. We are nearly 7 days after July the 4th, when he was first reported missing. There should have been evidence submitted by Jackson County law enforcement agents. We do know at this point, low-hanging fruit. There should be an investigation about the underage drinking, who provided the alcohol. Those individuals could be immediately arrested based on if there was any sworn testimony presented to a judge. I believe a judge could immediately sign an arrest warrant for those who provided the alcohol to underage individuals.
There were a couple hundred people on that island. Nobody saw nothing. Nolan drowned and nobody saw it. Nobody saw anything happen. Nobody saw Nolan leave the island.
I ain't gonna lie. The first thing I'm gonna say is, right, now I'm looking straight at the camera, right? So, he said there were 100 people on the what do you call it now, on the island. Because I didn't even know there were like 100 though. Like I thought there were like just about 30. Because when I saw the pictures they took on the boats and the yachts and everything, right? They weren't that much. So I was like, they're just 30 or something like that. But if there are 100 though, that's a lot of people. I mean, I don't know how big the island is, so we can take that into consideration. But this whole case just feels funny. It just feels very weird, and I don't know how to. It just feels weird, right? And like what the judge said earlier, like the fact that there has been no arrests at all, even though we know that someone took his phone without like due permission and they didn't give him back. There should have been an arrest warrant for that. And the fact that there's no arrest warrant for that, and we have the audio for such a long time since the day it was first reported missing rather, it's crazy. So this whole thing just feels a bit if it feels weird though. It feels weird for sure. It feels weird for sure. For sure.
Nobody. Some people know something. That
Yeah.
underage drinking thing, because they were what, like Nolan and his friends were under 21. There were multiple kids, that probably 100 plus under 21. Well, you get to find out, okay, who brought the liquor to the island? Who in Nolan's friend group brought liquor? Because even if you're under 21, you can still get charged with underage drinking
Yeah.
by providing liquor to underage people, even if you're under 21. Okay, which one of Nolan's friends in that friend group brought the liquor? Okay, cool. You had liquor in your hand and you passed the beer to your homie? Okay, cool. You going too. They'll probably get you about 20 plus arrests. Once you got about 20 plus people in, I can already tell you now from covering rap cases, we've never seen a case where more than 5 people where everybody kept it solid.
Yeah.
We've never seen it. 5 plus people, they squilling.
Yeah.
But these are the things we're supposed to be focusing on. These are the things we're supposed to be talking about. But instead, they want to ignore all of this. Even the man said, yo, the police ain't even applied for search warrants yet. Just the very fact that a missing person who ended up dead phone is found on that boat or found in your possession, oh yeah, that right there is probable cause for us to do a search warrant of that house to find if anything else belonging to Nolan is in that house.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That hasn't even been done yet. A judge has not even been approached yet in regards to this Nolan Wells investigation. Something fishy is going on here and it doesn't smell right. But instead of people focusing on this, instead of people focusing on what really matters, you got people like Jason Whitlock, who's doing 2-hour plus live streams talking about how the family don't deserve to be getting money from the public. I'm appalled, bro. Y'all are disgusting.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
They have launched a GoFundMe for in loving memory of Nolan Xavier Wells. They're up to about $650,000 on this GoFundMe. There's a report that Byron Allen, black billionaire, media mogul, has donated $100,000 to the Nolan Wells GoFundMe. This thing, I think, will get to $1 million. They got a goal of 750, but they just keep raising the goal every time they reach it, and it gets higher. You know, it may have started out at like $50,000, but now they're all the way up to the goal of $750,000, and I would suspect by the end of the day they'll have a goal of $850,000 because they'll surpass the $700,000 mark or whatever. It's troubling. Is what the only thing I can call this is troubling, that they're following in a pattern that we saw from Carmelo Anthony's family. My black child has died, and I'm owed reparations. I'm owed some sort of financial settlement because my black child died in proximity to a white person. And I get to launch a charity off of this tragedy, and that money will help soothe the pain of the loss of my child.
You are a miserable.
I ain't gonna lie. So before we let Flacco talk about this, just gonna give my honest opinion about this. You know, excuse me. So I don't really know a lot about what do you call it now, American culture and everything like that because I'm from Canada. Well, for I've been in Canada for about 2 years already. So yeah, I'm Canadian. But that by the way, uh, if my child died, God forbid, if my child did die, it would be hurtful. But I don't see myself. I don't see myself doing that. But I mean, if a parent does that, well, they might need the money for like lawyer fees and stuff like that. So there might be that, right? But there's that too. But what he's trying to say is that they're increasing the limits, right? Was from 500 to like 750 right now, and then he's saying it might go to 1,000, 800,000 into a million, right? That's just a bad. Those are bad optics, right? Those are bad optics, right? But then I can't really tell a grieving father or mother like how to handle the pain. And I don't see them using this money as like as as compensation or something like that. I just feel like they might need it for like lawyer fees and whatever they have to do like to get the truth out or something like that, right? I mean, that's just what I feel about that. I feel about that.
Evil, disgusting old man. Now, I can understand if you got a problem with, let's say, Ben Crump or Al Sharpton getting involved. Uh, Again, understandable. Whatever your opinion is on them, understandable. But to go as low
Yeah, that's low, bro.
as attacking the parents
That's
who
low.
just lost their kid, the parents aren't forcing anybody to donate. They aren't saying you must don't. No, they started a GoFundMe. Hey, we're gonna be chasing justice.
Yeah.
We lost our kid. We're probably gonna be like away from our jobs, away from our business, trying to figure out how to get him justice.
Yeah.
If you want to donate and help out with the cause, here it is.
Yeah.
And people are giving their money because they resonate with this story,
Yeah.
because they feel for these parents. And you still got a problem with that? You still got a problem with that. And I don't understand why. Why would anybody have a problem with people giving their money free will to these parents who just lost their kid? You think these parents would choose the money over getting their son back?
No, I don't
No,
think so.
genuinely. You think this money is going to soothe out the lifelong pain they currently have due to the loss of their son? And I never understand, y'all don't have this energy for anybody else other than your own. Y'all don't have this energy for anybody else, yo. It's never nobody else. There was a woman, Shiloh Hendricks, who raised like $800,000 because she lost her job after calling a 5-year-old autistic black boy the N-word with the hard R at a public park. Where was this energy for Shiloh Hendricks? Where was it at? As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what Jason Whitlock had to say about Shiloh Hendricks. Again, I haven't even researched it yet. Okay? Let's take a look.
Let's have a look at what he said.
Let's take a look
Let's see.
at what Jason Whitlock had to say about Shiloh Hendricks. Why don't I see no show about this? Why don't I see no show about this? Shiloh. How Shiloh Hendricks and Carmelo Anthony benefit? All right, man. All right, man. Hey, yo, listen. To placate to the white supremacists who follow him, when he spoke on Shiloh Hendricks, who got like almost $700,000 to $800,000 for calling a black boy the hard R,
Damn.
he had to pair it with Carmelo Anthony to
I
make
ain't
the
gonna
white
lie.
supremacists who watch him feel a little better. Bro, mind your business. This got nothing to do with you. You ain't donate. This is not your money. Why do you give a damn? Why must y'all harass these innocent people? They not bothering nobody. They trying to get justice for their son. Why do y'all continue to harass them?
I ain't gonna lie. So I didn't know the woman that they called the black boy, the black child, the hard R, had like about 800,000. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I can't lie. So the fact that he didn't even really talk about that shit is crazy, right? It's crazy. Well, I mean, but you kind of know from these people, like you kind of know who they are from what they say and everything like that. So just gotta protect your mind and not really listen to what they have to say. But I mean, Yeah, it's what it is. It's what it is.
Look at this hating nonsense he engaged in. Yo, watch this, bro. Watch this. They didn't come begging you for money. Why do you care?
Yeah.
How much money they get? Why?
Yeah.
And I get the pretense of the argument would be, well, I've got to have money to buy the kind of justice that I want for my child. I guess the argument would be that Mississippi is so racist that if I don't have money to spread around, I can't get Mississippi, law enforcement in Mississippi, to pursue the truth. But there's also the other argument that some people could make is if I don't have money, I can't manipulate the truth. I can't produce the truth that I want. And so let me start a GoFundMe.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Manipulate the truth about how your son died. That's a crazy reach there, bro. That's a crazy reach there, bro. Like, damn. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's very crazy. That's very crazy. I would never imagine someone would say that, but I mean, it's what it is. It's what it is.
Maybe I'll use some of it to improve my life. Maybe I'll use some of it to make sure I get an autopsy report that backs up my contention, or an autopsy report that tells the truth, a toxicology report that tells the truth or supports my narrative. But this seems like the way that we're headed, and I'm pointing to Carmelo Anthony as like he laid the blueprint, but maybe I should point even further back that this has been the point of the entire Black Lives Matter movement.
Jason Whitlock used to be so much more believable with his LARP. I feel like the LARP has kind of got, like, it's gotten still, bro. Right? The parents have came out and said they don't think it's a race thing. The parents have not brought up race not once. They simply said, we just want a private investigation. And we will bankroll it and we will fund a private investigation for our son. And if y'all want to help with this private investigation, here's the GoFundMe. Y'all can help, but we're going to do it.
See, that's the thing, right? So the thing is that I'm definitely sure that the Whitlock person right here is privy to this information that Flacco just said, right? So the fact that he obviously knows this information and is still saying what he says shows how ignorant he is about the situation, right? So I mean, top dancers.
That's all they've ever said. They ain't accused nobody. They ain't said this person did it or this person did it. They ain't say the three white friends did it. And they just said we want a private investigation. And you're still choosing to attack those people, which tells me it's never about what they say. It's always about their skin tone. If you black, you are going to be on the receiving end of Jason Whitlock. As simple as that. It makes no sense whatsoever. But let me know what you guys think, all right?
I ain't gonna lie. So for you guys that's still here, well, let's talk about it first. So first off, black parents, black families out there, ensure that your children, right, they are around people that you trust. Don't let them go for anyhow like type trips over the ocean, whatever. Ensure that you can always contact them, get to them whenever, however. So I mean that's very important. So we don't have a situation like this that happens again, right? And, if you're still here, you're probably one of my best. What do you call it now? Best viewers, best. I don't know what to call it, but I mean, it's what it is. So do like, share, subscribe, and please do comment down below. That really makes the algorithm really work out for us. But that, by the way, see you next time. Bye. Yeah, we gotta. I actually don't know what to do. I'll probably just go. Probably just take watch later. I'm not sure I want to watch. Okay, I don't know what it is. I think I'll probably just watch this. Then I'll watch the Nigerian one later. I mean, probably on the Nigerian channel.
For your business, trying to be fun.
So
This doctor
let's see. Dancing influencer doctor flees after patient passed away. Yep. Let's see what's up. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. No, that's not it. Oh my god. I'm gonna watch this next for sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah. Let me escape first. And today we have a video by I told you titled Dancing Influencer Doctor Flees After Patient Passed Away. I saw this on my feed, I think about 2 days out. I think 2 days ago. I saw my feed I think yesterday, right? This is what time is it in Canada? This is we're currently 10:46 a.m. I'm in Saskatchewan, so yeah. I saw yes last night, but like I was just like doom scrolling, so I didn't really have time to lock in and record the video. But I mean, let's dive right into this video today and let's see what's up with this dancing influencer doctor. You know,
This doctor danced and rapped her way through actual surgeries, then got sued by more than a dozen patients, had her medical license ripped away for good, and instead of, I guess, retiring quietly, no, she picked up a new name and kept doing the exact same things like nothing ever happened for years. Sometimes stories come across my desk and I'm like, okay, there's no way this is real. And then I research it and I realize, oh, this is very real. Despite me pinching myself to make sure it's actually real just due to how unbelievably stupid it is. So, hey, I mean, it is safe to say we have quite the video today. So somewhere between 2017 and 2018, back when TikTok was Musical.ly, a video started going around on the internet that at first glance could have only seemed like, I don't know, a skit. Hopefully, because essentially you had a woman in scrubs, scalpel in hand, mid-surgery, fully vibing to various rap songs as she cuts into patients' stomachs.
I ain't gonna lie, we
Okay,
pause. Give me. Let's see if this one is black or white. She's black. Is she black?
rap songs as she cuts into patients' stomachs.
Yeah, she's black. Yeah.
Okay, except as I stated earlier, no, this was absolutely not a skit. This was just Dr. Wendell Davis Bote, a board-certified dermatologist, running her own cosmetic surgery practice just outside of Atlanta. On paper, I guess her credentials looked pretty solid. She went to UCLA for medical school. She'd been practicing for over 20 years, and she ran her own cosmetic surgery practice, doing stuff like liposuction, tummy tucks, and overall augmentations.
Smart Lipo has totally revolutionized the concept of liposuction. It is a simple procedure that is done in office under local anesthesia with the patient listening to their iPod, singing along with music, and it's actually an enjoyable experience.
But I guess the problem started because she also had a hobby that ended up defining her entire career, filming herself dancing and singing directly over patients while they were in mid-procedure. And obviously, this is while the patient is probably unaware of what's going on, you know, because they're under anesthesia and they are unconscious. So, there's a whole lot of red flags waving when you see that. But this is one of the 20 videos that she'd been posting to her own public YouTube channel for years, all filmed in the middle of real procedures on real patients that she, I guess, used as marketing for her own practice. But in one, she's dancing around with instruments in both hands, leaning over a patient's exposed backside and rapping Migos lyrics. Then in another one, she's cutting into someone's belly in sync with
I ain't gonna lie. So social media is it's like it's a cancer in a way, right? I mean, we're always gonna have stupid people doing stupid things, right? That's a given. But like the fact that you can platform doing stupid stuff and like be profitable and like make money off doing that is crazy. And social media gives us that avenue to do that. So I mean, I would never have imagined if I saw her YouTube channel or her TikTok rather that she's performing it while in surgery. That's crazy, but this is what the world has turned into, and it's very crazy. Yeah.
OT Genesis's song Cut It. We live in some interesting times, filled with some interesting people. And sometimes I guess her staff just got in on the action as well, and they started dancing behind her like they were backup dancers instead of, I don't know, medical staff.
Medical staff.
And again, to be clear, we're talking about real operations on real people who were sedated the whole time. But according to her, patients supposedly agreed to be filmed ahead of time and even picked out the songs, which, I mean, okay, fine. Maybe some of them did, but that doesn't really explain the lawsuits that went flying. And I feel like that explanation gets a lot murkier when you realize what was actually going wrong in that operation room while the cameras were rolling. And by the way, she made like 20 different videos with like 20 different patients. So this is just crazy. But essentially, this is where the story stops being funny. So in February of 2016, a woman named Isilma Cornelia, she went to see Dr. Bote a few weeks before her wedding. She was also working towards a PhD in nursing at the time and wanted some Botox and a few touch-ups so she would feel good in her dress. But according to court records, once the staff realized that she was getting married, they pitched her on more, and she ended up agreeing to a tummy tuck and liposuction package on top of the original plan. And the procedure apparently ran for over 8 hours, and she wasn't even given general anesthesia or intubated.
Wait, chill. Cornelius was not intubated and did not receive general anesthesia. She was given a cocktail of drugs, including propofol and fentanyl. Yeah, she should get the firing squad, bro. Yeah. She deserves to die. At this point, yeah, for doing that, that's crazy.
She just got a
That's
mix of
crazy.
medicine.
That's
And there was
crazy.
allegedly no proper monitoring equipment being used to track her oxygen levels during all of this. And near the end, when Bote was still stitching up the incision, and Silma's heart just stopped. So staff called 911, but by the time paramedics got there, she was, in her attorney's word, essentially gone. And unfortunately, even though they got her breathing again, the damage was already done. She survived, but she came out of it with permanent brain damage
Permanent
and
brain
needed a feeding
damage.
tube and full-time care for the rest of her life. Her son, who was 26 at the time, became her caretaker, and he did that job every single day for 7 years until she passed away from complications related to this injury. So once the Silma's case became public, more patients started coming forward, and by mid-2018, report had counted at least 7 active malpractice lawsuits against Bote, with several more already settled. Like, you had 2 sisters, Christine Dolly and Mitzi McFarland. They said they went in for something called Smart Lipo, a laser-based fat removal method, and instead came out having undergone regular liposuction, which left them both saying they felt very disfigured. Then you have Latoya Rideau, the patient in the Cut It video. She said that she never agreed to be filmed during her February 2017 surgery, and the results left her uneven and in ongoing pain. Imagine being too busy filming social media content for your business, trying to be funny, to actually do your job properly and not actually take care of your patients.
That's
Like,
crazy.
this is just so crazy. But I still feel like it's pretty much all downhill from here. Because something that came up during the reporting in this was a very important detail. Because Bote's own website advertised her as board certified in both surgery and dermatology. But apparently, she was only board certified in dermatology. But she was still operating on people and filming music videos? To make things worse, she didn't even have admitting privileges at any hospitals either, and her office itself wasn't a licensed surgical facility. It also came out that the Georgia Medical Board had reportedly received a complaint about her practices as far back as 2016, over 2 years before her license was finally suspended. So in June of 2018, after a physician's assistant reportedly called in a separate incident, which was, in this case, a patient hospitalized with a collapsed lung and blood loss following a liposuction, breast augmentation, and BBL combo, the Georgia Composite Medical Board suspended Bote's license, calling her a threat to public safety. What is wrong with Atlanta at this point? I mean, we've covered so many of these medical scams coming out of Atlanta. You had, all the veneer techs. You had the couple that was doing BBLs in motels, and now this, a dermatologist operating on people in a facility that you can't operate on people in while filming music videos? I'm at loss for words for Atlanta. But apparently in an interview at that time, Bote defended the videos. She said that they were all staged and planned, and that the patients, they had picked the songs themselves and told her when to hit certain beats, which is, hard to do when you're under anesthesia, but Hey, whatever floats the boat. Also, remember the woman in the Cut It video? She claims that she had no idea that this was going to be filmed. So I don't know who's lying here, but I do have a hunch. But she also claims these videos were just an educational tool.
I'm kind of private. I'm very private. So for me to actually harness a personality for social media and make it where it's a human relationship building and educational, and also to relieve anxiety about cosmetic surgery, because there's a lot of, in my preoperative and consultation visits with my patients, I notice that the biggest thing that comes across is anxiety. Music is such a global language, right? If I tried to educate through just pointing at the computer and saying, here is your muscular anatomy, here's where the muscles separated, this is not a skin.
Oh, she's the one? Yeah, she deserves to be gone, bro. She deserves to be gone. I don't know what kind of makeup she has on, but he should go get a better makeup artist, bro. Nah.
I may cut off or a tummy tuck. People, they didn't quite listen. When I added music to it to educate, all of a sudden, people paid attention.
And apparently she told Rideau something along the lines of being a dancing doctor actually grew her following, because apparently people love a dancing doctor. Do you know what kind of doctor I like? A doctor that does their job and is focused on the patient and not filming social media content, and actually has all the credentials they say they have. But hey, I guess that apparently is too much to ask for in 2026. That's not a guarantee anymore. But apparently that same year, Beauté formally agreed to a consent order suspending her license for a minimum of 2.5 years, with the option to petition to get it back afterwards. But during that time, the order banned her from using the titles doctor, physician, or MD in Georgia. But there's a pretty big detail that resurfaced a couple years later, because one of the videos in the Cut It one was filmed while Dr. Roland Pinkay was managing Rideau's anesthesia. Because in the video, he's singing and dancing along the background during the actual surgery. Rideau eventually sued him separately, arguing that his behavior during the video was a part of a broader breach of how patients should be treated and respected while unconscious. And this case actually went to trial in Georgia in 2024, and the jury cleared Pinkney of any legal responsibility, deciding his conduct with the anesthesia itself met the required standard of care, even though he admitted on the stand that he regretted being a part of the video. So instead, the jury placed 100% of the fault on Beauté, who wasn't actually a defendant in the particular trial, and essentially awarded Rideau $0 in damages. And while all of this was going down in court, Beauté's financial situation was apparently just collapsing behind the scenes. So a DeKalb County judge ordered her to pay $700,000 to her former malpractice insurance company after she allegedly failed to pay the amount that she owed across 28 separate malpractice claims filed under a single policy. 28 malpractice claims. That is crazy. How common is it for doctors to receive malpractice claims? About 1.6% of physicians result in a financial payout or indemnity. I actually don't like those odds. So 16 out of 1,000 goof up. I guess it depends on the field. Ooh, so apparently with surgery, it can go all the way up to 15 to 19%. Oh, these are claim rates. Okay, so this isn't actually a... Wow. Okay. But apparently her former insurance attorney said in 25 years of practicing law, he'd never seen that many claims stacked on one policy. So clearly this was not ideal whatsoever. But she was reportedly served with that lawsuit back in July, but I guess just never responded to it. So it defaulted. She just lost it. Awesome. So at this point, you were probably thinking, okay, that's it. Nothing worse could happen, right? Because so far we've covered, a doctor getting exposed. She loses her license. She gets hit with like a ginormous financial judgment, and then she fades into obscurity. Except not quite, because in November of 2024, a news investigation out of Atlanta found that Beauté had rebranded herself completely, and she even changed her name. She was apparently now Catherine Davis, a combination of an actual middle and maiden names, and she's now operating in a new state, Texas. And the new business is Eden Med Spa in Austin, where she's listed online as the owner, touting experience at UCLA, Cedars-Sinai, and Emory. There is some serious audacity here. And of course, all of her new patients are completely unaware of what happened in Atlanta. Because if any of her patients or future patients search up Catherine Davis, nothing connects her to her old identity. No suspended license, no dancing videos, just a complete clean slate. And a producer of this investigation went undercover at the spa for a consultation and secretly recorded the whole thing on a phone. And apparently during this visit, Davis talked about her medical training like any licensed doctor would.
So we sent in our Channel 2 Action News producer to see what Dr. Davis tells patients. We switched off the undercover camera in the exam room. Davis let our producer record the consultation on her phone.
So as a physician, you're trained, okay, what the worst case scenario?
According to Texas law, it's illegal to advertise or promote yourself as a doctor without a Texas medical license. There's no license listed for her as Catherine Davis or Wendell Boutte. A consent order in Georgia also bars Miss Boutte from using the titles physician, doctor, or MD, but she has been.
And when a reporter later confronted her asking if she knew it was illegal in Texas to advertise yourself as a doctor without a Texas medical license, she didn't really answer. And there was no license on file for her under that name or her old name in any other state.
Do you know it's illegal to advertise yourself as a doctor in Texas without a medical license? Quiet with us, but online, she is dancing again, this time with needles in advertising. Do your patients know you have a suspended license? Do you tell anybody on your consultations about Wendell Boutte?
You know you guys are harassing someone?
That's the other owner of Eden Med Spa, Amber Larson. She seemed surprised when we called Miss Davis Dr. Boutte.
Dr. who?
Dr. Boutte. Her name is Dr. Wendell Boutte.
No, it's not.
Yes, it actually is.
So once that newer story ran, things started moving pretty fast. The Spa Zone website started actively scrubbing every reference to Davis as, I guess, owner or doctor. And they were doing this live while the reporters kept refreshing the page and watching the changes happen in real time. And the business itself sent patients an email saying that Davis was dealing with difficulties outside of Eden and wasn't currently doing procedures there anymore. And apparently, by law in Texas, a licensed physician needs to be one of the owners of any medical spa, and reporters couldn't even find an active business license for Eden Med Spa itself on top of everything else. So the whole thing eventually got reported to the Texas Medical Board and Secretary of the State's office. However, though, even after all of this became public, it took a while for existing patients to actually connect the dots here. So in one story that happened in September of last year, a woman named Takim, who had gone to Davis for a facial thread lift procedure, she said the appointment went wrong almost immediately. Because according to her, Davis reacted to something going wrong mid-procedure by yelling out in shock, which understandably freaked her out.
Yeah, let me see. She was like, "Oh shit." that's words. That's what her exact words were, which freaked me out because I was like, oh my god, what happened? Yeah, I would be freaked out too.
Going wrong mid-procedure by
sure.
yelling out in shock, which understandably freaked her out even more, because, she's sitting there in the chair, which is, again, more proof that, hey, maybe you should have a license to be doing this. Maybe you shouldn't be doing any surgeries as a dermatologist. I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be so soulless and still practice on people when you have no business doing so. I don't know, though. Just like, imagine going in for plastic surgery and your surgeon starts throwing a temper tantrum mid-surgery. That is crazy. I have no idea how anyone should feel during that situation, but Takim, she says that she was left with jaw problems and visible scarring and ended up spending over $7,000 trying to get it corrected. Ooh. But the worst part here is she went back to Davis for the fixes because she still didn't know who she actually was. Oh, people like this deserve to just get put under a jail. But Boutte responded to that specific report by saying the reporter should go pull the actual medical records if they wanted the full story. But I guess by that point, Eden Med Spa itself had apparently gone under entirely. So according to former customers who'd said they found a notice on the door about unpaid rent, so I guess the whole location just shut down for good. How are you scamming all these people and you still can't afford your rent? This just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm just like shocked that she essentially got chased out of a whole city and state because of her medical malpractice. And then she just sets up shop in a different state with a new name. But at the time of this video, she doesn't appear to have an active medical license under either name in either state, at least anything that I can find publicly. But hey, considering she's already changed her name once before, I wouldn't be surprised if she has a new name now and she's back to practicing. And the craziest part to this story is there's no real ending here, because despite the media attention and the complaints filed with both the Texas Medical Board and the Secretary of the State's office, there's no public record of any final action behind that. So as far as I can verify, it just gets cold from there. So she was exposed, the spa appears to have shut down, and after that, the story is just unresolved. So, right now, we've reopened the case slightly. So if there is any update to Catherine Davis or Wendell Bote, we'll cover it. Because again, like the people in Georgia said, she is literally a risk to the public. But hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys.
Yeah, shout out to Otozi. That was a good ass video, and hopefully she gets arrested, because I don't know why the hell she was operating on those people and recording videos like that. But then still, like, share, subscribe. Do comment down below what you feel about this video, and let's see what we have next on the menu today. What's the time now? I think it's about 11:05. Yeah, so I think I should go about 1 or 2 more videos. I really want to react to. I want to make I want to make. What do you call it now? A finance channel, and I also want to have. I'll probably react to this later too, but probably react to this later too. I'm gonna probably react to all this for today though. Street life to sweats equity pipeline.
Y'all know over here on this channel, man, we talk.
Hey, so let's do my boy Antonio Talks. I fuck with him hard, bro. I fuck with him hard. And today we have a video by Antonio Talks titled "The Street Life to Sweat Equity Pipeline." Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what we have here today. We got Antonio, but you know it's my boy, so he's probably got something good for us today. But by the way, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and do comment down what you feel about this video while I'm reacting to it, or whatever point you want me to address in the next video. I'll probably talk about it. But then let's go, and let's see what my boy has for us today.
About racism, we talk about white supremacy, we talk about anti-blackness, and I'm just at the point of like, I know these people don't like us. I know about all of the agendas that they have thrown at Black Americans, right? You know, slavery, Jim Crow, the Black Codes, redlining, denying benefits from the GI Bill, COINTELPRO, the crack epidemic, the heroin epidemic, the war on drugs, right? I understand all of these things, them pushing capitalism, all of this fucked up the Black community. And in 2026, we are seeing the backlash from that. With that being said, I think that is good we acknowledge the past atrocities that happened to us, but also I don't want us to continue to dwell on it. If y'all noticed over here on my channel, recently I've been incorporating more videos tackling things that we do have control over, a lot of the negative elements in the community that I just dislike. Today we're gonna be talking about the glorification of street culture and also sweat equity. I made a video a few weeks ago where I was talking about the raccoons of the Black community that we don't talk about, and basically I was stating that the same way, you know, we talk down on bootlickers, the tap dancers, the same way we treat those individuals, we gotta start treating these gang bangers and some street dudes like that as well. And that is what I'm gonna dive into within this video, man. How within our communities, these type of individuals are praised and put onto a pedestal. These dudes are seen as real for doing anti-Black shit. So-and-so right here went to jail for killing 2 Black men. Now he's labeled as a real dude? What? Buddy over here selling fentanyl, lace, pills, and crack or whatever, poisoning the community. But guess what? We got a person that came home from college, he got him a degree, and people don't even want to show him no type of love. They gonna call him a square for going to school and getting a higher education. We praise and we glorify a lot of dumb, stupid ass shit. And I just want to give a little context just to myself, right? I am hood adjacent. I grew up smack dab in the middle of the hood. And if you don't know what hood adjacent mean, it is basically a person who grew up the hood environment, right? You grew up in the hood, but you're not a street dude. And this is like 90% of the people that grew up in the hood. Me personally, I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, right? And my childhood home, y'all, it was literally like a minute away from the colonies. Now, if you're from Columbia, you know the colonies has a very bad reputation. People call it like one of the worst neighborhoods in a city or whatever. In my opinion, the shit ain't that bad though. And I'm not bringing these things up to glorify it or anything, but had multiple friends that passed away to gun violence, in jail for gun violence, family, right? You know what I'm saying? So I never want to come off as demonizing these individuals, but it's just like the older I get, the less tolerant I am of it. I want to tell y'all a story that I think about all the time that happened to me. And I brought it up on my main channel before. When I was younger, I think like either 6th or 5th grade. I can't remember exactly. But basically, man, I got an older brother. He's a knucklehead, right? He was in the streets, doing little dumb gang shit. And he ended up getting our house shot at. I remember this night because I woke up out the middle of my sleep and like the police or whatever, the detectives were outside of my room. I heard all this commotion. I opened up my door and they all outside my room. Tell me why, y'all, one of the bullets was literally like, it landed right next to my room. Let's say my room is like this. The door is right here, and it's a closet on the outside of my door.
Yep.
My bed is lined up right next to the door, just kind of far back. So
Yep.
the bullet hit right next in that closet, y'all. So if it would have hit over just a few like inches further, the shit could have hit me in my sleep.
Yeah.
Who knows? I probably wouldn't even be here right now. And I mean, y'all probably got similar stories to this of friends and family that then got hit by stray bullets, passed away. They ain't got nothing to do with anything. All because of dumbass street politics. Now, this clip right here, NBA Youngboy, is probably one of the reasons I even made this video. As of recently, he is beefing with Future. In this clip specifically, he said something that I had to address. And let's listen to it.
Man, you niggas ain't no fucking gangsters. That's why y'all can walk around the states like that. Say, Pluto ain't no fucking gangster. Dude don't run around without no fucking security, especially not more than me.
Do y'all hear how he's talking? He's basically clowning someone because they don't gotta watch over their back 24/7. Once again, why do we glorify dumb shit like that? So I'm pretty late on this whole situation right here, but this is one of Julio Killer's. As we can see right here from the caption, Julio Killer says gang life ain't worth it. At this point, we don't need a rocket science to tell us this shit. Most of the killings with this gang shit is basically retaliation, bruh. Niggas just don't know how to let shit go. Back in 2010, they brother probably got killed. They got revenge, back and forth, back and forth. At this point in 2026, they probably don't even know why they beefing. Let the shit go. Be the bigger man.
Yeah.
To my city, man. It ain't worth it, boy. Like, it ain't worth it. Like, me being a rapper from my city and Fulio being a rapper from our city, it ain't worth it. Like, my mouth getting dry, sorry. Like, the dissing, the beefing, the shooting, like, for what? Like, for what?
Literally, for what, bro? Like I state, y'all got all this pent up aggression. Go slide through a sundown town. Y'all niggas got.
I ain't gonna lie. So, I just let him talk to this to kind of grasp what he has to say about what he's commenting on, or rather what he's commenting on. Yeah, that's the correct thing to say. But then, I'm African, right? But I'm also Canadian, and I've been here for about, I think, about 2 years, 2 years or so. Yeah, so yeah, and I feel like a big aspect to this this American culture is the music they listen to, the rap songs they listen to, the killing and the gang and everything, right? I feel like songs have a way of turning your mind, like just twisting your mind in a way, right? It's like enrichment or like impeachment. I don't want to say, but it's like bewitching. Yeah, that's the word, bewitching. So it has a way of like turning you into what you're listening to and everything, right? That's why I try to not like listen to like a lot of all these kind of songs. I try to listen to more of like R&B, more like soothing songs, so I can always be like calm and everything like that. But like I feel like if they just stop listening to, well, they can't stop, right? It's culture, but if you listen to more like soothing songs, more like jazz type songs, right? I feel like definitely you won't have as much of a problem with all this kind of things, right? So I'm not hating on African Americans. I'm not hating on like black people in America, because they're local my people too, because they came from Africa, right? They came from Africa, and they had to experience that slavery and everything, right? They had to, like, so I'm not hating on them, but I feel like if they just listen to more soothing music, they would probably be better. And I mean, that's just part of what I want to say, but we can talk about the other stuff later.
All this aggression for other black people, but when it come time to really stand on business, not easy. Motherfuckers ain't doing shit.
Like, when you sitting in your cell alone, cold, it's lonely as hell in that bed. Everybody leave you. Like, nobody here for you. Like, the ones that's your ride or die, your girlfriends, whoever you love, the only person there for you is your mother and me.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't lying, bro. What
Yeah,
you
for
gotta
sure.
notice, to be fair to
I
the
ain't gonna lie,
people
for sure.
on the receiving end of this, the world gotta go on. Bills gotta be paid.
Hmm.
Kids still gotta get fed.
Yeah.
Roofs still gotta be provided and managed. This is why I say the whole street life thing is stupid, because these people are going to praise you, right? Let's say you go to jail for killing a nigga. The first couple of days, everybody gonna be on Facebook and Instagram saying free you. As the weeks go on and the months progress, those posts are going to get less and less posted about you. Life gonna go on. But guess what? Hey, you a real nigga. You didn't back down and act like a whole ass nigga.
Like, one friend, maybe, but it ain't worth it though, bro.
Nah, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it
at all.
I was 21 years old facing the death penalty. I never ever, my only interactions with law enforcement was traffic tickets. Wake up next morning, I'm facing the death penalty. That's how quick life can change. It ain't worth it, bro. That's all.
So this video right here is from another one of Fulio's killers. It says Fulio's killer get referred to as needed sweat equity.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes, with my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator. He's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put him out there to work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration. We have that, so we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
I ain't gonna lie.
And I know we talk about life without parole and death row, but for our jurors' education, in Florida, what does a life sentence without parole mean?
A life sentence in the Florida Department of Corrections means from the minute they're brought in, they're assigned an inmate number. He will be assigned an inmate number, and when he dies and leaves in a body bag, he will still have that inmate number. An inmate serving life will never ever get out. There is no parole in the state of Florida, and they're not ever allowed outside the razor wire and the fence of a secure facility.
And this is why I try to stress, man, to...
I ain't gonna lie, but I'm going to talk first. I'm going to let him do that, right? I feel like if I was the one in that situation, I'll definitely cry, bro, because like there's nothing you're gonna tell me, right? Homie saying I need sweat equity. We're aging out of old people, so we need young people like you to do all the chores and shit. And homie was like, she was like, what's the word again now? What does life without parole mean? It means that since you enter this jail, you're given a number, and to the day you die, you're gonna die with that number on you in that body bag. And the way he said it so casually, right? So, I mean, that's crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Your children should stay at home, bro. Your children should stay at home. Don't do drugs. Don't go gang banging and all that other stuff, right? Just be good kids. Let's hear what Antonio Toss has to say first now.
All of the YNs, I don't even like referring to that term, but if you live that lifestyle, I understand the circumstances of why y'all may go down doing the dumb and wrong things. But we gotta start pushing back against that shit. It's not cool. And the sad thing is, bro, a lot of these dudes that's in the streets, they making less money than niggas working a 9 to 5. You can make more money by getting you a fucking warehouse job, working at Amazon. And you don't gotta work there forever. You could be working on getting a trade while working that job, so that eventually you can pivot, you know what I'm saying, just make a, you know what I'm saying, you don't, come on, bro. Now for the rest of this video, man, I just want to talk about how, especially to my black men, we got to start loving each other more.
Why we always tough? Why every time you see another black man, gang, you see another black shorty, folk, we got to look at each other like we are. I don't even know you, folk. I can't even say what up, or you might be like, what the fuck you saying what up, folk? You step on a motherfucking shoe, they ready to blow, like, shit gotta stop.
100% facts, bro. And the thing is, a lot of the dudes that have that animosity towards another black person, they docile as fuck if it was a person from another race. A white man walked through. How you doing, sir? What's up, boss?
This nigga ended his life. What that mean?
What that mean?
What that mean?
That mean was bragging.
Okay.
Gang shit.
I don't do no gang stuff.
This video is a prime example of what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna just play it without the audio, but as you can see, they're staring each other down. He do a head nod, and they still staring, and then the dude in the gang talking about what's bracking. You know what I'm saying? He ain't on none of that gang shit. And it's like, why is a eye contact like niggas just looking at each other and we ready to scrap, bro? Niggas got
Man,
so much
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know it was that bad, bro. Like just a look can make you like start fighting and stuff, bro. Like, I don't live in the States, so I don't know how it really goes down, right?
place
So
anger that needs to be put in different places, bro. It's pissing me off. But that's pretty much it, y'all. That's all I want to talk about in this one. If I have any YNs or anybody that's in the streets, man, hopefully I can
yeah,
steer you in a different direction.
man, for
You can
sure.
become a doctor, you can become a pilot, you can become a
Yeah,
lawyer. I make videos all the time highlighting and showcasing
you can do
the
all that
greatness
shit.
that we can be. I know you might have
Yeah,
grew up to a messed up environment. It happens, dog. It's a saying that a successful man, they asked him how he got there, and he was like, I had abusive parents. Then they ended up asking a homeless man the same question. How you got to this point? I had abusive parents. You know, I just want y'all to lock in. Black people, Black Americans, we have been through some of the hardest things ever in history. And like
nah,
I
for
state,
sure,
this
for
is
sure.
a reason why a lot of this shit is taking place. But once again, we are some of the most resilient people to ever walk this earth. Soon as slavery ended, we built up colleges. We endured 400 years of the brutalness, dog. Just even reminiscing off that fact alone, it should want to make you lock in. Like me thinking about my ancestors slaving and living the way they had to do, man, I'm gonna be the greatest motherfucker ever for y'all. I got y'all. That's my mindset, man. I wish everybody would just lock in like that. But no
Yeah.
more talking, man. Love y'all. If you want to see something similar to this, go check out Black Excellence. Got them folks mad because it's Black Excellence in there for you guys to watch, man.
Shout out to my boy Antonio Talks. I feel like whatever video he does, they usually just like encourages me to like you know, right? But I'm not African American, but I also have to like up my understanding of what they went through, and not be ignorant of their past and how they're trying to change and become like a better society and like group of people and everything like that. So I fuck with all of them. I fuck with them. That's my black people, and we're all black too. Whether you came 100 years ago or you're from Africa, we're all black. So I fuck with that. So, by the way, like, share, subscribe. I need this channel to do well. So I mean, it's all right though. It's all right. It's all right. And comment down whatever you feel about this situation down below in the comments below. And see you all later. Bye. Peace. Yeah. So I ain't gonna lie. This is my first time actually like streaming for such a long time, bro. But should I watch this KSI situation? I feel like I want to do a video that will go well, bro. Like I need a video that's gonna do well. Let's probably check out the watch it. How long are I streaming for? About 1 hour. I feel like I can take it for 2 hours and it will be good. Yeah, I'll probably do an Asma Gold video. Yeah, yeah. I'll do an Asma Gold video.
IRL streamer destroys her career in the dumbest.
Oh no. I'm in Satoshi though, so I can't react to. Probably search for Tozy. Tozy. Oh shit. Can I actually see if I'm live here? Wow. I fuck with this. I sure be live, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with that, bro. I fuck with that hard. Forgive me. But let's go. Probably react to this. React to this shit too later, bro. Let's see. Probably react to this too later. I got a lot of videos to react to, bro. Like, damn. Gotta put a lot of work in. Gotta put the work in. Gotta put the work in.
This complete.
Yep. Let's see what we have today. Let's go back. Let's go back. And today we have a video by Atoze titled "IRL Streamer Destroys Her Career by in the Dumbest Way." So, I ain't gonna lie. I just saw this from what was the guy's name? Gold. Like I saw him reacting to this like yesterday and everything, but like I wasn't really listening and everything, right? So, but let's just see what this girl is doing right here, and comment down what you feel down below, and just subscribe and comment down what you feel. Let's dive right into this video. Let's go.
This complete moron of a Twitch streamer, who I guess is very often under the influence in her content, was just banned on Twitch, allegedly for streaming herself while driving under the influence.
Hold on, let me take a hit.
And while we don't have any official confirmation that that's the actual reason she was banned, the clips of her stream definitely don't help paint her in the best light.
But I'll say this, if you're going unprotected, at least get a Big Mac to go with that questionable decision.
You guys are tripping. Like, if that were the case, then restaurants wouldn't be allowed to serve alcohol at all.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that it definitely wasn't her passing gas that got her in trouble here, even though it's included in basically every single headline on this whole thing. Crazy headline, but still obviously not the thing that got her banned. And yes, I realize this is Twitch alert, but still diabolical headline. But hey, also being gross on stream is kind of par for the course for the person we're talking about today, who goes by Casey Tron, who's honestly been a figure on the internet for way over a decade at this point. If I remember correctly, I think she was the innovator of being the first League of Legends cleavage streamer. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what her original claim to fame was. But again, I think that was over a decade ago. So since then, she's been no stranger to being temporarily banned on Twitch for her comments and behavior. But this time, people are unsure if this will actually be a permanent ban or not.
No, sobriety test me. Sobriety test me, breathalyze me.
But if you rolled your eyes at the sound of her name, you're probably familiar with her content, which is filled with, I guess, gaming, ripping bongs, and her polarizing persona. And I guess there's whatever this is as well.
2, 1, got this.
Yeah. So I guess her arguing with her chat about her sobriety and ability to drive while streaming herself behind the wheel is, I guess, par for the course.
I'm trying to get to McDonald's, okay? I don't really give up. Like, I don't really give up. I'm trying to get to McDonald's. Shut up. High/drunk slot. I'm literally not drunk.
I ain't gonna lie. So before she goes on this, whatever she has going on here, so I think one of the last 2 videos I made, well, I'm still recording, right? So I haven't posted them yet, right? But like, I was talking about the internet being like a bad influence and stuff like that. That also shows that we can also see that today, right? Because the fact that, well, she's been on the internet for like a long time, right? So she probably has a lot of followers and things like that, right? But like the fact that she can still do all this and still like get followers and everything, and like get views money, right? It's crazy. And I know she'll probably get like banned, but the way Twitch is about bans, so it's probably won't. It's not going to be a a long ass ban or something like that, right? So it's not going to be a crazy ass thing too much. So I mean, it's crazy, but like the internet has a way of warping your mind for you to like think of views, and it's crazy. And, it's just crazy, but I mean, it's what it is. Y'all just gotta learn to work through it, and don't lose yourself to the fame and quest for money and everything. Yeah. By the way, comment down below what you guys feel about what I'm saying and what she's doing in this video, and how I can improve my channel, or whatever you feel about this video. Just comment down below, and I would this is whatever you guys have to say. Yeah.
You are tripping.
I mean, I've even seen people in the replies to this news on Twitter saying this behavior is nothing new for her stream. And that's something that's pretty alarming to me, but hey, I guess thankfully a staff member finally saw it. But either way, as I mentioned earlier, Casey Tron, she's been around for years, and she's definitely known for using controversy to get some views.
My name's Casey Tron. I'm a professional female gamer. DDoS me, you're not gonna be able to DDoS me. Are you kidding? Try to DDoS me. Try to DDoS me, idiots. You can't DDoS me. You can't take me down. People have been trying to take me down for years, and you can't take me down.
She definitely shouldn't be on anyone's content Mount Rushmore, but she's definitely been around for a while. When I was first coming up on YouTube in like 2015, 2016, 2017, I remember her as a pretty big streamer. But then suddenly I didn't hear from her for like probably 5 years. And when I heard about her then 5 years later, I was like, oh, is she okay? Because in the more recent years on the stream, she seems to just kind of get crossfaded and acts laughably stupid, whether it's for a bit or if she's being serious. I don't know. Hard to tell.
So what if weed is my personality? What's Nick's personality? Being a creep. What's Melena's personality? Norway. What's Minx's personality? Ireland. What's Schlatt's personality? Mutton chops.
What the? Wait, is that a gun? I don't want to be next to that.
This is a propane torch.
Casey, what are you doing?
This is a torch to heat up my nail.
And she's also recently found herself embroiled in legal battles with H3H3. But this time, viewers are speculating that she might actually be in some real trouble due to the fact that she has, number one, yet to address any of this. Number two, she's still banned as of recording this video. This happened days ago. So normally when she gets banned, she's only banned for like 24 or 48 hours. But for some reason, she's still publicly arguing with people online, but hasn't addressed this. Okay. So obviously we can't say anything definitively, but if she was streaming herself driving under the influence, number one, she's a complete idiot. Number two, she probably should be banned for a long time. And just for like quick context, Asian Andy, he live streamed himself eating a chicken nugget while he was driving, and that resulted in a permanent ban for him. So if this doesn't yield a permanent ban, they might be not consistent with the enforcing of rules on Twitch. Not like that's a new thing, but apparently all of this happened about a week ago on July 5th, when headlines started popping up on social media announcing that she had once again been banned on Twitch. And if you look at her Twitch, you just get the normal Twitch.
Let's check it out.
A permanent ban for him. So rules on Twitch. Not like that's a new thing, but apparently all of this happened about a week ago on July 5th, when headlines started popping up on social media announcing that she had once again
Twitch partner Casey Tron has been banned. Twitch partner has been banned. Yeah. It's not gonna last long though. Let's see how long it lasts.
And been banned on Twitch. And if you look at her Twitch, you just get the normal Twitch ban, so it's not like we get too much information of what actually happened here. We can only speculate based on her last stream. But that didn't stop most people's knee-jerk reaction to be, oh, okay, she got banned again. She'll be unbanned again in like 2 days or something like that, because that happens so much with her. But again, like I mentioned earlier, this isn't normal because she's still banned, and it happened over a week ago now. And obviously so many clips from her last stream went viral, and again, they don't paint her in a good light.
Wait, sure. I want to see. Here's let's read it together. Here's Twitch streamer Catitron driving an unknown canned drink and smoking. Oh, I said driving? Drinking. Before I drive, I've seen an increase in people who are unhappy with what Casey did. There are calls for a permanent Twitch ban because of this. So, yeah, she deserves to be banned. Yeah, it's not just like you're endangering your life. You're endangering people around you, like drivers that are actually like driving with their brains, right? Driving with their brains, and you're endangering their life by driving while not fully sober. It's crazy. But yep, let's go.
Many clips from her last stream went viral, and again, they don't paint her in a good light.
Did I just fart?
And the crazy part about all this is
bro.
the accusation didn't come out after the stream. No, her own viewers are calling her out while she's live during the stream.
Honey, if McDonald's is the ultimate destination for your late night rendezvous, then you need to step up your game. Those fries ain't gonna dip themselves. But I'll say this, if you're going unprotected, at least get a Big Mac to go with that questionable decision.
You guys are tripping. Like, if that were the case, then restaurants wouldn't be allowed to serve alcohol at all.
Like, even beyond.
No, I ain't gonna lie. So the first thing, right? Before we let I told you to talk, right? First off, from the way she looks, I feel like she might have like an addiction problem. I don't know if that's. I mean, she's up there in the age, right? She's been doing this for a while, but I mean, I feel like she has an addiction problem, right? She doesn't look too okay, like just that. And then, by the way, what she said about alcohol being served at night is because restaurants that serve alcohol, I think you all know, they believe that you'll drink appropriately and don't get yourself drunk. And if you do get yourself drunk, you take an Uber home, or someone else drives for you that is not drunk or that is not under the influence. You know, that's what a normal person would think, right? But not so many of that nowadays. So yeah.
Wouldn't be allowed to serve alcohol at all.
Like, even beyond the Texas Beat donations, her chat is spamming comments about her drinking and smoking before getting in the car. But instead of, I guess, denying drinking and driving in the clip for her stream, she just doubles down and starts arguing with her chat about whether she's capable enough to drive or not.
No, sobriety test me. Sobriety test me, breathalyze me. I need to get one of those. I need to get one of those blow things, you know, like the ones that you can get on your keychain. I would blow. And I would blow under the limit. Like, you guys are tripping.
And obviously, arguing that you could blow below the limit doesn't really imply that you haven't had anything to drink. Plus, the whole argument about, oh, if what I'm doing is so bad, why do restaurants serve alcohol? What? That is just such a stupid argument. We lose way too many people every single year to drunk drivers.
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
unacceptable.
yeah.
The fact that she would go on and use that as a defense while she's live streaming to a platform of people, like, she has a platform and she's like clearly drinking at a restaurant. She doesn't know if she can drive or not.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like she's fully sober. I'll put it at that. And making that argument. Okay, this is pathetic. Like, hey, it's one thing to get crossfaded and just be terrible at video games on your live stream, but getting crossfaded then driving while live stream while other people are on the road, she's on public roads here. It's just so selfish and stupid. Like, ma'am, why can't you just DoorDash your McDonald's? Why do you need to stream and drive there? And she's literally getting so many donations telling her to stop driving and to just order Uber Eats. Also, not to mention that streaming and driving in general should be a bannable offense, in my opinion. Not to say that's really too controversial. Like, I feel like there's one way around it. The only way I feel like someone could stream and drive is if they cannot see the camera, they can't see the viewfinder of themselves, and they can't see the chat. If they had it like audio set up, it's fine. Then that's kind of like being on the phone and driving, hands-free obviously. But if you can be distracted by the viewfinder of yourself or your chat, that should not be allowed. Regardless, I mean, we've seen so many incidents come from people just being stupid while streaming and driving. Even recently, you had the whole stuff about, what was her name? Extra Emily? Yeah, it happened with Extra Emily multiple times, actually. Like, come on, if you have to stream and entertain your chat while you're on the go, get an Uber and tip well for the inconvenience for them. But obviously, if you add some alcohol and get a little crossfaded, definitely Uber, especially if you're live streaming. But a clip from Asma's stream went pretty viral on this topic exactly. And he definitely used a few extra insults that I would have skipped personally. But as far as his stance on streaming and drinking and driving, I agree that it should probably result in a permaban.
This disgusting person, this annoying, obnoxious, should be permanently banned off of the platform. You are drinking and driving, you're reading chat, and you're also doing it all on stream.
We don't want to give people more excuses to be distracted. We're already distracted enough while driving. But hey, since all this happened, Casey Tron has rightfully been ripped apart by both haters and her own viewers, even though there hasn't been an official confirmation of the reason for her ban. Regardless though, I mean, it's safe to say the general public has already made up its mind. And I'm sure Casey Tron herself is well aware of the reason that she was banned and could tell people, but she has yet to make any comment on it as of right now. So I don't know. I guess she just seems a little bit preoccupied with beefing with random people on Twitter at the moment. But also, let's be real. If the ban was for something else unrelated, why wouldn't she say that? I don't know. Hard to know for certain. She could be milking all this for drama, and she might know that she might be unbanned soon. I guess we'll find out with time. But regardless, the best outcome is that she learns from this and doesn't repeat this. But hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
Shout out to my boy Atozi. I think that video. I personally don't know. I don't know a lot about this this girl right there, but I mean, we just found out what she what she did, right? But I mean, yep. By the way, you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, and comment down what you feel about the situation down below. And let's go. Let's go. See you all later. I low key want to go to the. I low key want to see. First of all, I want to see my stream though. Like, I don't know how many followers I have. Like, how do I know how many views there is here? Oh, I can check it out. I low key want to go to the. Oh my god, I sound weird, but I mean, yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this later. I'm gonna watch that. I think I'm gonna watch it now actually. Togi. I want to check the Osman. No Osman Gold though. Like, yeah.
This wife, this
Yeah. Let's go. One of my best videos actually. And today we're reacting to a video by Omizi titled "I Can't Believe Akash's Wife Said This." So my boy Akash can't get a break, man. You know, we all the shit that's happened to him in the past few months, leaving the YouTube group he was on, his wife outing out that she likes to spread, you know, what she likes to spread, right? You do. But then that's by the way. His wife is she's a real specimen, and she can't let him just get a break. He can take a break. But that's by the way. Let's see what Umuzi has to say for us concerning the situation right at hand. And comment down below what you feel about my video. Also what you feel about the, what we're reacting to. And, subscribe to the channel. I like the video. It's gonna do me, a huge favor. But let's see what we have today.
this wife, this same wife right here who said this on a podcast.
Did y'all ever have an orgy together with your husbands? Rhea, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so good looking and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us for it? Okay, maybe. I just know that.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. So let's see. I've been saying this shit but this conversation they have right here, like, there's some people that shouldn't have a podcast. Like, they shouldn't have a podcast. Like, we don't need to know all this. We don't need to know you want to sleep with your husband's best friends, right? We don't need to know all this stuff. This is just like unnecessary stuff we have to know. This is just like, there's never small talk. This is just like, I don't know, bathroom conversations or something like that. I don't know, but it's we don't need all this, right? So first off, we don't need a podcast where you guys saying all this stuff, right? And then that's the first thing. The second thing is that you're talking about sleeping with your husband's friend, and you're acting like you didn't see anything, right? The whole world is. I mean, let's not get into it. So let's let the video go on. Let's let the video go on.
It's like at least 10 inches.
Who then put her husband through hell is still going. We can't run away from the Akash Singh situation with his wife. Now Jaslyn Singh has finally come out and explained what she and Akash have apparently been going through behind closed doors. According to her, they escaped a toxic environment, fake friends, online harassment that felt like digital SA. But she continues leaving out one major detail of it all. She was the person who brought all of these private and intimate conversations about their marriage to the internet. Yeah, I did say digital essay. It doesn't make any sense. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. I don't even have something quippy here. This is just the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, back into the video. I have never wanted to leave a group chat faster than I've wanted to leave the Akash Singh and Jaslyn Singh group chat. Partially because they keep threatening their friends in the group chat with a threesome, which I think is really weird. I feel like I should be giving Akash this chair here. But also because it keeps getting worse for somebody who could have avoided this situation. And we've recapped and talked about the whole situation in its entirety, how picking the right partner can be detrimental to your career. But Akash Singh's wife is giving giving us a hold my beer moment every single chance that she gets. Just recently, fans asked Jaslyn Singh, Akash Singh's wife, about all of the things that she has been experiencing behind closed doors when it comes to the whole situation that has been happening for the past year now. She says, and I quote, "I really try to remember that everything works out the way it's supposed to. Rejection is redirection. Of course, it's easier said than done when people were digitally SAing me and continue to do so. But that experience made me and my husband so much stronger, showed us who our real friends are, and made us see fame more clearly. I think sometimes the bad things that happen to you end up giving perspective." I kind of had to pause recording this video to figure out what any of that
What the hell
even
she
meant.
was saying,
Digital
bro.
essay
That's
is a new
just
word for me, and
BS.
Elmo can't handle big words like that. So I went ahead and did a Google search. Couldn't find much on it, but tried to piece together what I know of it all. Now, for the record, she doesn't necessarily name the Flagrant podcast as a toxic
Yo, they're
environment,
flagrant, yeah.
but when you line
That's
it
her
up
name.
with Akasha's departure, it appears likely that she was referencing that specifically. She doesn't necessarily talk about the fake friends in depth either, but maybe he was referring to Schultz and the boys. I don't know. But that claim of the digital SA, she's talking about how these edits, these comments, these commentary videos all depicted her in some sort of fashion, and you know, they might have said the wrong things about her, maybe made some leaps and bounds and stuff like that. I'm trying really hard to stay in the middle for a second so I can, elaborate as to what's going on here. But yeah, she does kind of allude to the fact that some of these things that were said on the internet actually did impact her. However, I do believe that Jaslyn is combining the harassment, the criticism, the jokes and conflict with the cast into one larger attack from the Flagrant environment. And by framing it this way, it makes it seem as though Flagrant is responsible for all of the stress that her and Akash had experienced over the past couple years. The audience becomes toxic, the people around Akash become fake friends, and Jaslyn becomes someone who is simply attacked for no reason. But what we're missing and failing to acknowledge, which we were all here for, is that none of this, and I do mean none of this, would have existed if she would have never started any of these conversations on her entrance to the podcasting realm.
Went to college from 2011 to 2016. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
Thought it was just like dancing, getting dressed up, and maybe that was my mistake.
No, I ain't gonna lie. So the thing is, right, when she said that, I'm sure she felt like what she said was a form of like, she felt good about saying it. She's probably like a form of a word, right? She felt good about saying it, right? I'll just say that, right? So when she got all the she got the bad feedback for saying all that kind of stuff, she tried to push it away. She's trying to say everyone is hating on her type shit, right? How can you say you were 2016, you were popping your, you know what she said, right? To white boys, like, and then mind you, she said she hasn't been with anyone, right? Before she got married by Akash, and Akash said so too. So that's the first lie, because you're contradicting yourself. You just said they're popping your, and that's a contradiction. That's the first one, right? Second thing is, I know I'm never gonna go into this, right? I just pray, I pray that I don't get a wife like that, because if I do, no, it's not even if I do, like, God's not gonna let that happen to me. God forbid, because like, nah, I ain't no way I'm living with this kind of person in my life, bro. Like, nah. And the funny thing is that once Akash doesn't have money again, oh no, sorry, I remember what I was supposed to say. The second point I wanted to make was she didn't have anything with Akash, and she doesn't even give Akash sex. You know what I mean? That's what he said. They don't have that regularly, and she said that she been popping her pee for white boys. So she doesn't even like value him as a husband. You're not giving. I mean, it's weird, right? It's weird. She's not a good. She's not a good woman. And social media gives this kind of people like so much like views and everything, right? She shouldn't have a podcast. That's the thing. She should not have a podcast. It's that simple. what you're giving us is not educational. What you're giving us is not uplifting anyone in any way. Don't create a podcast like this. I don't know why she did that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
acknowledge
Look
that.
at
this. Big one.
Yeah, the act of getting dressed up, looking I want.
You can have a roster of frat boys.
But-
What does a roster mean?
So it didn't actually translate to a roster. It just meant like 2 guys I was talking to in Florida.
No one believes that. No one believes that. No one believes that. No one believes that. Just say no one believes that.
With at the same time. That's it.
For the record, Akash didn't have Jasleen on any podcast. She wasn't popular on social media. She didn't really have anything going on in the social media aspect before any of these instances. And her first appearances were her divulging information that I don't even want to say a lot of people took out of context, but was private and intimate, and they were details about their marriage that shouldn't have been out there, especially because Akash had been spending years, and I do mean years, painting her to be some sort of uber virtuous, picture perfect wife. And I've broken down the reasons why he may have done so in previous videos, maybe to pedestalize himself so then he can criticize other relationship conversations on the internet. And, you know, I've talked about what happens when you harp on, you know, those things in your life and how you have to then become picture perfect in the eye of the beholder. But that's not what's important right now. What's important right now is her acting as if we weren't there for all of that. And I can't acknowledge that maybe the internet did cross the line. Maybe people did go too far, but we can't act as though she didn't put it out there first. She didn't come aggressively with this stuff. I don't even think some of these things were jokes personally, if you are asking me. And instead of acknowledging, you know, her role in any of this, saying that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have did this, maybe I shouldn't have did that, etc., she appears to be blaming the environment around her, surrounding Akash, which you kind of know what type of work your man is into. Calling the response digital essay also makes accountability much harder to discuss, because anyone questioning her decision can be dismissed as somebody that's attacking some sort of victim.
My question, because I've never gotten to ask somebody who was really on the receiving end of the internet to that scale, like you were, how did you feel? Like it was like a slow burn, but it really wasn't. It was like a firestorm. Like I had people hitting me, being like, yo, what do you think?
I remember because you asked me this question, like, what is it like to look at like think pieces and people analyzing your marriage and your personality? It feels weird and it feels surreal because you're like, but you don't know me. You don't know anything about me.
You just said what you did, so we kind of know you, and we kind of know what you did, so we can depict a picture of the kind of person you are, because that was the first thing we heard about you when you first came to the internet. So, yeah, you kind of told us what you do, or you kind of told us who you are. So, yeah, we know you. You helped us know you. Yeah, you know, we know you for sure. We know you.
Never talk to me. Like you're taking the intention of this video in the complete wrong way.
And she may be right. They don't know you and your relationship from you and the inner workings of it, but your husband spent years talking about the relationship on the podcast and the platform. And so now you want Flagrant to accept all this responsibility for how everything affected you while taking very little responsibility and accountability for how your comments may have affected Akash. And so once Jasleen describes Flagrant as a toxic environment filled with fake friends, Akash's explanation for leaving the platform becomes much harder to accept at face value.
We got to address the elephant in the room, no pun intended, okay? As I'm sure you guys are aware, our boy Akash, he really went through it earlier this year, showed up.
Our boy Akash. Our boy Akash. Our boy Akash. He went through it this year. That's, no, they can never say what he did, right? Well, not what he did, well, what his wife did, right? Out of respect, they can never say it. They're just gonna say our boy Akash went through it this year. You know?
Amazing resilience and, you know, selling out Radio City recently, setting records in Toronto, just crushing stand-up around the globe, and literally just like living the dreams that he would tell me about at 2 a.m. when we're eating fucking egg sandwiches at Veselka. So it's been amazing to see, but the experience has put things in perspective for him, and he has made the decision to focus all of his energy on stand-up. He is going to be stepping away from the pod. It is bittersweet. You know, we wish that he did not want to do that, but at the same time, you know, it's very hard not to root for your friend, you know, literally living his dreams. And if he feels he's got to give everything to that, then that's exactly what he's got to do. And we're going to rock with him. We hope you guys continue to rock with him.
After 9 years of being a part of the Flagrant podcast, Akash decided to part ways to focus on his stand-up career. Now, I'm not going to rehash how funny it sounded at the moment, but I understand, hey, sometimes you do move on to greener pastures, bigger and better things, or whatever the case may be. So that's not what I'm worried about. What really stuck out to me, though, is the fact that he didn't have some sort of final episode. You know when you break up with your significant other and y'all have one last time in the bed? Yeah, Akash never had that. And if this was supposed to end on this amicable situation or way or whatever, you would expect that to happen. The only times that you don't get that finality of it all is usually when there's some sort of toxic thing involved. And hell, that's also not acknowledging that if maybe he wanted to focus on his stand-up, maybe he misses an episode or two here or there. It was probably a way to work this out if that was the only issue. But so now we're getting more realistic information as to why Akash seemingly abruptly left the Flagrant podcast. And it's looking like Jasleen is answering for him again, saying things again, putting information out there again that we didn't need.
To make matters worse, Jasleen took to social media to gloat about the split. When a fan directly asked her if Andrew and Akash were still on good terms, she posted a smug, condescending movie clip to confirm that the friendship is completely dead. She's out here playing the ultimate victim, claiming she was digitally violated just because media platforms covered the public statements she chose to make.
Here we go again, another wife getting in between the business of her husband, putting her 2 cents in there and making the situation more awkward and more difficult. We know that Akash and Andrew no longer follow each other. The Instagram post also shows how she personally viewed the relationship.
I didn't even know it was that bad,
Akash and
though.
Andrew in the Flagrant environment as well. And then she continues on in the video and doesn't make it any better by painting the environment and the podcast space, specifically that he's in, to be racist and right-wing, making a clear distinction between that fan base and the fan base that goes to his comedy shows.
I know the periphery of Akash's fan base, which is, I will say, more of the podcast fan base. And I know a lot of people during like our controversy were saying like, oh, it's because of his fans. It's because of his fans. Like his comedy fans are not like that. It's more the podcast fan base that I don't think really resonate with him, because a lot of them are like really racist and right wing. I think like those of them are more like that. But yeah, anyways, I said like those peripheral fans, like they might come at us just because we're brown girls being opinionated and they don't like opinionated women.
You know what's so funny? I hate when people do this thing where are in some sort of a breakup
race
or in some sort of
politics,
situation, and they talk bad about this thing that they've lived in for so long. All of a sudden, Akash's fan base on the podcast is racist and they're right wing. It's a bad environment and all this stuff, as if it just got like that, right? This podcast has always been the same. These people have always made these jokes, all these different things. If you felt this way before, why is it all of a sudden that it's a problem? I just never get it. So now it seems as though that Akash was putting a rock in a hard place. Hey, if you do go back to that podcast, there will be some tension in your marriage. And that old adage of happy wife, happy life, I don't know. Every episode could have looked like Akash choosing the people Jasleen blamed over his wife. So that's why he chose stand-up as the explanation. It gave some sort of easy, respectable way out that avoided exposing whatever conflicts existed behind the scenes. It may be a genuine career goal, I have no doubts about it, but it also provided a convenient reasoning to leave without admitting.
Yo, he has been on the podcast for more than 9 years. I think 9, 10, 11 years. I don't know how long, but it's been a long time. He helped build this podcast. He helped make it what it is today, right? And then you just leave without I don't know if he's getting like royalties. I don't think he's getting royalties and everything, right? But he left just like that for something he helped build. It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not one to talk about one's marriage, right? Or like one's relationship, but I feel like he's quite a simp though. And I'm sorry for saying that, right? But I feel like it's low-key a simp. Well, not low-key, but high-key a simp, right? Because how can your wife be saying all those shit online, and then she's one that's replying, she's one that's saying everything, but you're not saying nothing about it, and you're just like, I don't think he can ever leave her. I don't think he can ever leave her. I think he feels grateful to her for accepting him as what's the word now? As his wife, right? It's crazy, but I don't know. It's crazy.
That his wife wanted the distance from the entire flagrant ecosystem. And the more that Jaslyn speaks, the more it sounds like Akash was not merely moving towards stand-up. He's moving away from a situation that his wife decided was damaging their lives. But the biggest problem isn't that Akash listened to his wife. We all listen to our wives-ish. It's that Jaslyn appears to avoid accountability while Akash continues to absorb the consequences.
Is it just me, or is the idea of asking a girl to sign a prenup incredibly offensive? And only one way. Like, if I asked someone to sign a prenup because I...
Oh, this was when he asked for her hand in marriage. Yeah, this dude is low-key a simp though. Like low-key, not even low-key, high-key a simp, right? High-key a simp.
had some like booming business, then I would be like, yeah, can you just sign this prenup because like I don't want to like lose all my money. But then like if a guy asked me to sign a prenup, I would be like, I would call off the wedding. Like I would literally call off the wedding. Don't blame the brown girls for going to white men. Blame yourself and your friends for being trash options. These are like 3 kind of surefire ways to know if you're trash. So number 1, if you consistently prioritize your mom over your girl, telltale sign. Number 2, if you think she's nagging or being annoying or she's being clingy when really she just wants like emotional validation and maybe just wants some quality time where you're not like glued to your phone. Number 3, I think this one is a little bit iffy, but like if you listen to Punjabi music but you're not Punjabi and you call your friends the N-word and you smoke a lot in the car and you drive really fast, you know what I mean? It gives that vibe of trash. Now that's like could be more of a in-between.
Let me get this straight. I don't think that there's any problem with Akash, defending and protecting his wife when it comes to some of the criticisms online. Online culture and community is way too far. And him stepping in because the community is saying X, Y, and Z, LMNOP, people are taking things out of control. I think that that is perfectly fine and dandy, and it's what he should do. The issue is that protecting Jaslyn appears to require Akash to repeatedly absorb consequences created by her decisions and her actions. While Akash did paint this picture of who Jaslyn was behind closed doors, it was Jaslyn who publicly discussed their private relationships with her friends, her own personal life, all these different things. And ultimately, Akash became the punchline. Jaslyn blamed the audience and the environment, and Akash eventually left the platform connected to both. And for what it's worth, she still doesn't understand exactly what's going on. She's trying to skate under the guise of comedic relief and comedic timing and all these things like that as to why this happened.
It was bizarre to me because I'm like, my husband can go on stage and literally has a joke in his special about like getting a hooker isn't like cheating, it's just outsourcing, which I really don't care. Like, I think it's a funny joke, but it's like, if I say something that's equally, raunchy, like then I'm a whore or all these things. But the reality is what the reality is. It's like, I was a virgin when I met my husband. We lost our virginity to each other.
But you said you were hooking up with, you're spreading your pee you're popping your pee for white men 2016. Probably before your marriage, so how are you still complete the word? Yeah.
And I never made that a part of my identity. I only shared that because I share my life story because I'm an oversharer. Y'all made it a part of my identity and then used it against me. I don't give a fuck if I was a virgin or I wasn't, or if my body count was 100, but it wasn't. Those are just facts. So if you want to take like tongue-in-cheek videos and make it into something it's not, like that's not really a reflection of me. That's a reflection of them.
Yeah, gang, you kind of got to blame your husband for that one though. To be fair. And also, you're not a comedian. I'm sorry to say it, but you're not a comedian in a comedic setting with the comedic timing. I don't know. So now you have Jaslyn running around the internet speaking as though they escaped this problem created entirely by the toxic people and the fake friends and the environment and all this other stuff like that. But the person who loses out on it the most is Akash. He left a platform he spent 9 years building, seemingly damaged relationships with people that, he's trusted and became friends with and worked with along the way. He walked away from the most most consistent form of exposure for his career. And not to do the psychoanalyze thing, if you look at recent pictures of Akash, it looked like he in that tub of Ben & Jerry's. Them cheeks look a little bit full, my brother, and it's not because you just got naturally high cheekbones and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Jasleen is over here still not admitting that she was sharing the intimate details, that she may have been making a mistake, still isn't saying that she did anything wrong or could have prefaced or whatever the case may be. I think this creates this dangerous dynamic in a relationship. One partner makes the situation public, refuses to acknowledge their contribution, and then expects the other person to rearrange their life around the fallout and aftermath. And don't get it twisted, Akash had different options. He could have established boundaries with the audience, the cast, and his wife. He could have defended Jasleen from harassment while also telling her that their private life should remain private. Instead, the largest boundary appears to be removing himself from the flagrant community completely. And this is where supporting your partner becomes surrendering control to them 100%. Jasleen's problems became Akash's problems. Her enemies became his enemies. Her version of accountability becomes the only version he is allowed to support. And her solution ultimately becomes his sacrifice. Mind you, this is a racist community while Andrew Schultz was sitting there making Indian jokes about Akash for the past 9 years. Give me a fucking break. Jasleen may have experienced harassment or criticism that made her feel violated, stressed, and unsafe online, but her answers to the fans shows that she still does not appear to recognize her own decision-making, her own choices that contributed to the situation. She's talking about this toxic environment that is right-wing and is racist and is doing all these things, and that's why Akash had to leave, and it was supposed to be wrapped up as amicable and all this other stuff like that. But again, what amicable situation leads in no, like, you know, final episode? This has always been a racist right-wing environment, but all of a sudden it's just become too much. She chose to make these conversations public. Flagrant didn't force her to push these private and intimate details to the forefront, especially when your husband for the past 9 years has been, you know, positioning you as this picture perfect woman. None of this stuff came out of nowhere is what I'm trying to get at. And now, instead of taking accountability for her actions or inactions or whatever you want to say, she's trying to paint everybody else in this super duper negative light. And I can acknowledge Akash may be prioritizing stand-up, but Jasleen's answers make it increasingly likely that protecting their marriage influenced the decision. The problem is that Akash once again appears to be the person making the sacrifice, while Jasleen accepts none of the blame at all. And if seriously you feel as though these are the steps that your husband needs to take so that you can get on these different podcasting platforms with your friend talking about how you want to be bent over by your friend's husband and have your friend involved while Akash sits there and watches, I genuinely and honestly don't know if this—
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The music just yapping right now, right? But like, this is actually a good video. I fuck with music hard, right? It's a good ass video, but I mean, Akash is never gonna learn. He is not gonna learn. He is not gonna listen. He is still gonna be with her till she causes him to lose all his money, become broke, and she's gonna leave him when he is down because that's the kind of person she is. But then, it's what it is, and you know, it's what it is, like Travis Hunter, right? But it's what it is. But let's go. See you all later. See you all next time. Comment down below what you felt about this video, and love you all. I've gotta get ready for work and school too, by the way. So yeah, see y'all later. Bye. Peace out.